till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that theme song, then you know it's time for me to say greetings to the world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach and we communicate with you all around the globe, all around the Kittitian, Nevision, and Caribbean diaspora, all around the globe. But we must say a very pleasant night to St. Kitts and Nevis and to the entire Caribbean region. I know that some of you are in the Kittitian, Nevision, and Caribbean diaspora, like I said, all around the globe. Some of you are in Africa. There's some of you in Europe. There's some of you in Asia, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I'm at liberty to say good morning, and I'm at liberty to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And just to welcome our first-timers, each time we do get first-timers, because many of you continue to share that link, and we are eternally grateful, because we do get first-timers. And for the first-timers, let me inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free, underline free expression on all issues of national, regional, and international interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues, we do have a forum on which you can express yourselves freely. And on this program, we try as well to raise the level of national, regional, international consciousness. We try to raise the level of national, regional, and international discourse by alerting our people to their rights or to their responsibilities and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liebert, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on this another occasion. And my Straight Talk family, especially the first timers, let me inform you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We never try to make it more interesting, neither by omission nor by exaggeration, because Straight Talk is not about sensationalism. We are not about creating excitement, especially if that comes at the expense of accuracy, because we always lean on the facts, as it is my bounden duty to present what I call the unvarnished truth, the plain truth that is, especially when it comes to governance, transparency, accountability, here in the Federation or wherever you are on the globe. Because this program joins us together with people across our Federation. We are joined with people in the diaspora around the world. Some of you we know, some of you we have met, some of you we have met physically, some of you we have met spiritually. Some of you we do not know, and many we will never ever meet. Some of us will agree with the positions of truth, advance, and straight talk. And some will disagree. And that's understandable because we are a different people. And that's why here on this platform we entertain a diversity, or we entertain diverse views, maybe the better things to say. But please, let us not become disagreeable. That's what will disappoint me. Let us thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we'll all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks one more time for those who share the link. As you bring us first-timers, please continue to do so. If you are a first-timer and you like it, go tell it over the mountain, go tell it to the world. If you do not like it, find me and find a way to tell me. Let me always remind you as well that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens. Some of you like what I call the cloak of anonymity, as I call it. So we give you access via our email platform, and that address as well is on your screens. So my Straight Talk family, welcome again. And I say a special welcome to my Straight Talk Junior Brigade, young Dwayne, Tristan, Jasmine, Shamar, Kevin, young Rue, Jamal, Travis Travon, my grandson Neymar, Saraya, Elizabeth, and oh, that special lady in St. Louis. How is the Queen in Texas tonight as well? Always logged in. But my Straight Talk family, welcome again to all. We normally have our observations in review, a time when we highlight some issues, current issues. We do some reflection. We ask a few questions, and we get or provide some clarification. And of course, it's important that we get to know if we have learned something or anything as a people, because it's all a learning process. Our first observation, my Straight Talk family, deals with something I saw on social media today, and I became somewhat troubled. I saw this on social media today about my good friend and blogger, Bucky Got It. And we've heard, unfortunately, that he is at HMP, or 1840 as some people call it, awaiting his sentencing after being found guilty of the charges as listed herein, and very serious one, interfering with the course of justice. And our hearts go out with Bucky. Whatever he was thinking, we wonder. But you understand that he has been remanded into custody. But I saw a message, and let me hasten to add that Straight Talk cannot confirm its veracity. It cannot confirm whether it is a truthful message. Notwithstanding, we have posted this on your screens, which reads from Bucky Got It Media. Greetings all. Just by way of information, by now all of you are well aware that I have been incarcerated. I was convicted in a case regarding a matter from 2023. I have been remanded until my sentencing in June, when I expect that I will be released. And here's what I found troubling. He said, when I expect that I will be released, hopefully, thanks to the intervention of the Minister of National Security and the Rep for Constituency 4, the Honorable Duggins, I will be back on the road shortly. Thanks for all the concerns expressed by all. See you all soon. And that's why I'm concerned whether this is a message really coming from Bucky Got It, as we call him, from Mr. Richardson. Because if this is a message from him, I'll be troubled. There seemed to be some interference with the court. I thought that they are all separate. The branches of government are all separate. The executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. So for Bucky to write this, if he wrote this, maybe I'm wrong. I am a little concerned that he would do this. So we don't know, as I said, the veracity of this document, which I saw on social media. So many things appear on social media, so we never know, my Straight Dog family. My second observation has to do with the National Museum. And you can glean from your screens that this building has become a real eyesore in the heart of downtown Basseterre. It's been like this for years. When we know that the Prime Minister Terence Michael Drew attempted to put a museum down at Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw's last residence. Matter of fact, he spent some $8 million there, to which he has, or for which he has not accounted to this date. We see a museum going up at Fort Thomas. Understand that CBI monies have been raised to effect that particular facility. But here our National Museum, hear me, our National Museum is an ISO in downtown Basseterre. And it just speaks volumes about the government that is in office today. And my Straight Talk family, when I see these things, I'm saddened. But that's what's happening in our beloved Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Should we expect better? It's hard to get an answer for that. You know, my Straight Talk family, I start asking myself and start to imagine what it would be like in St. Kitts and Nevis without a government. Because when we look at the team of experts and their performance, it is saddening. When we look at what's happening with the opposition, it's even more saddening. But some other time for that, my Straight Talk family. But those are my observations in review for tonight. And I will move right into my thesis, which I have titled A Chance or Choice to End CBI Cancer of Corruption. And my fellow citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, there comes a moment in the life of every nation when silence becomes betrayal, when truth becomes a duty, and when leadership is measured not by speeches, but by the courage to confront corruption, no matter where it hides or who it protects. So tonight, as we've always done, we have come to confront a hard truth. Because our beloved Federation, once respected globally as the pioneer of citizenship by investment, has seen its proud legacy stained by greed, abuse, deception, and political corruption. In 1984, some 42 years ago, St. Kitts and Nevis became the first nation in the world to establish a CBI program. It wasn't envisioned back then, we are told, as a tool for economic empowerment, national development, and opportunity, or some prefer to label it as a tool to generate foreign direct investment. But over time, that visionary program became infiltrated by what can only be described as a cancer of corruption. In 2006, to be exact, the Douglas Labour administration established what was called the Sugar Industry Fund, the SIDF, my Straight Talk family. And recall Douglas said this.
I remember well what it was like when, as Prime Minister, I recognized that we would have to chart a stable and sustainable path forward once it became clear that the sugar agricultural economy and country could no longer be the mainstay of St. Kitts and Nevis. Those were quite tumultuous times globally. But I was determined to put in place the policies and the guardrails to ensure that, firstly, we established new avenues of economic activity and growth, whilst ensuring, secondly, that there was zero social upheaval, zero political instability, and zero domestic tumult. In fact, it is because of those concerns that we created what has now become famous as the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, the SIDF. I remember well what it was like when, as Prime Minister, I recognized that we would have to chart a stable and sustainable path forward once it became clear that the sugar agricultural economy and country could no longer be the mainstay of St. Kitts and Nevis. Those were quite tumultuous times globally. But I was determined to put in place the policies and the guardrails to ensure that, firstly, we established new avenues of economic activity and growth, whilst ensuring, secondly, that there was zero social upheaval, zero political instability, and zero domestic tumult. In fact, it is because of those concerns that we created what has now become famous as the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, the SIDF.
And yes, my Straight Talk family, the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation. Back in 2006, following the closure of the sugar industry over Denzel Llewellyn Douglas's dead body, as he said back then. And my Straight Talk family, with the SIDF came a lot of issues. First anomaly was the fact that it was registered under the Foundation Act. And Douglas, for many years, tried to convince us that it was a private foundation. And the monies were not put into the consolidated fund. Monies did not go into the treasury. But my Straight Talk family, the same year, when he introduced the SIDF in 2006, that same year, the International Narcotics Control Strategy Report, the INCSR, published by the U.S. Department of State, and in volume 2 of that said report, my Straight Talk family, it was well documented, as you can glean from your screens. And it spoke, my Straight Talk family, volume 2, speaks to money laundering and other issues that came to the fore. Money laundering and financial crimes. And that's coming from that report from the U.S. State Department. And volume 2 of that report stated very clear, you can also glean from your screens, that, and I quote, St. Kitts and Nevis continues to be vulnerable to money laundering and other financial crimes. St. Kitts and Nevis should continue to devote sufficient resources to effectively implement its anti-money laundering regime. Specifically, it continued in that report, St. Kitts and Nevis should determine the number of internet gaming sites present on the islands. Oversight of these entities is crucial, as they are vulnerable to abuse by criminal and terrorist groups. Additionally, St. Kitts and Nevis should curtail its economic citizenship program. And my Straight Talk family, this is from 20 years ago. And believe it or not, those issues are still being discussed today. And ironically, 20 years after, Nevis introduced online gambling. Do you believe that, my Straight Talk family? Nevis introduced online gambling 20 years thereafter. And your premier, Mark Anthony Graham Brantley, of all people, to manage that offshore gambling enterprise, he finds Nuri Katz. And Nuri Katz, in a message from Barcelona in Spain, reads or writes, "So good to spend time in Barcelona at ICE with Honorable Mark Brantley and others. Amazing conference, so good listening and watching such an experienced politician as the Premier promote Nevis on the world stage as a center for innovation in the world where tech, financial, and corporate services meet." My Straight family. But more troubling, however, was the Financial Times report about offshore banking in Nevis. And you can, again, glean from your screens that an Iranian noted here for using the offshore banking facilities as reported by the Financial Times. My Straight family. And you see where these monies are dispatched. Money laundering, again, my Straight family. If that is not enough, the Daily Mail also reported, above all, about the Ayatollah, Iranian Ayatollah, who is now the Islamic leader. And you see, my Straight family, the shell companies set up and intermediaries have been established across a wide geographical spread covering the UAE, Isle of Man, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Europe. So my Straight Dog family, we continue to be in the news for the wrong things and dealing with the wrong people. But like every malignant disease, corruption did not announce itself loudly in the beginning. Because in 2006, back then, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas engaged two groups in his new plans for the CBI. One, CS Global, and two, Galaxy. Douglas hired CS Global and paid that group $25,000 per application received by the CIU, beg your pardon, to market the SIDF. And not per approved application. Every application that was lodged with the CIU, that's the Citizenship and Investment Unit, CS Global was paid $25,000, the same that the government got in its fees. My Straight Dog family. Douglas then approved 2,500 shares for the construction of Ramada by Galaxy at $200,000 per share or investment unit. And do the maths, my Straight Dog family. I always tell you that maths is my strongest weak point. But 2,500 shares or investment units at $200,000 each equals to $500 million or EC $1.35 billion, my Straight Dog family, to construct that hotel. That took forever to complete. And Straight Dog understands that the inflated estimate or estimated cost of the hotel was given at US $200 million or EC $540 million using 2.7 EC dollars to the US dollar. So my Straight Dog family, you see the profit margins? Profit margins of US $300 million US dollars, or over 800 million EC dollars. That's what Denzel Llewellyn Douglas facilitated through Galaxy. Today, Denzel Douglas is talking about doing something about Kitishan Hill, in which he spent over $100 million of our own money, having given Kitishan Hill the shares to sell for their condominium apartments. How many shares we have not been able to establish, but yet they are incomplete. The Ramada has never opened its rooms to guests. So what we ask, my Straight Talk family, what we ask is, Denzel, what can we do? As Denzel Douglas asks or said to his colleagues.
I've told my colleagues we have to do what we have to do to get Kitishan Hill working. We have to do what we have to do to get Ramada Hotel open and functional. I've told my colleagues we have to do what we have to do to get Kitishan Hill working. We have to do what we have to do to get Ramada Hotel open and functional.
Well, after spending so much money, after allocating so many shares, what do we have to do again for Ramada Hotel? What do we have to do for Galaxy, my Shozok family? And strange but true, when the government changed, both representatives, meaning the representative of CS Global and the representative of Galaxy, both were taken to the United Nations General Assembly as part of Terence Michael Drew's delegation in September of 2022. Yes, we always provide the evidence. Even though Terence Michael Drew, beg your pardon, referred to the prison project as being criminal, and his attorney general called it a good scam. See, they are at the United Nations, the highest body, highest parliament in the world. It was later revealed that Terence Michael Drew signed off on over 20,000 passports under this good scam. So this CBI cancer was spreading quietly, my Straight Dog family, spreading quietly. It metastasized, that's a big word, it spread throughout institutions. It infected governance. It corrupted accountability. It weakened public trust. And in the process, it threatened the very sovereignty and international credibility of St. Kitts and Nevis and other OECS countries like St. Lucia, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, and Grenada. Today, my Straight Talk family, the question facing St. Kitts and Nevis and the other countries is simple. Will we finally end this cancer? Or more importantly, for us in St. Kitts and Nevis, will we allow these leaders in office to continue to gamble with the future of this federation? The evidence of systemic corruption within the CBI program is no longer speculation. It is documented internationally, discussed openly in financial circles, and monitored closely by powerful governments and international agencies. We have witnessed, it was proven in court via a judicial review, that the underselling of passports, there was illegal underselling of passports. Applicants bypassed statutory investment requirements. There was fraudulent switching of applications, massive kickbacks and illicit payments, money laundering concerns involving foreign actors, and international scrutiny came from the United States Treasury, FinCEN, and the European Union. So the world has been watching us for a long time. And make no mistake, Washington knows everything. Let me repeat that. Washington, my straight dog family, knows everything. And I can attest to that because during my discussions in Washington, D.C., one message became abundantly clear. The United States has deep concerns about the contamination of CBI programs across the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS. The discussions confirm that despite purported reforms, applications connected to dangerous geopolitical interests, including actors linked to China, Russia, and Iran, are still reportedly being processed in some parts of the region. This is not a game. This is national security, my people. This is international banking credibility. This is the future survival of our economy. And when major global powers believe that if financial system is compromised, consequences follow swiftly. OFAC sanctions are real. Visa restrictions are real. They have been coming. Dominica, Antigua, and Barbuda. Banking, the risking is real. Border detention and interrogations are already happening, my straight dog family. I told you that a high-ranking official here in St. Kitts told me, and I listened to him keenly because he was corroborating the facts that I was already exposed to. But that official was spot on with the names of persons who have been apprehended at the border and interviewed. Those names I cannot reveal at this point, my straight dog family. But the warning signs are everywhere. That is why the reforms that were apparently implemented matter profoundly. The current administration of Terence Michael Jew claimed that he has taken aggressive steps to restore integrity to the program, and I smiled. I smiled, my straight dog family. He promised citizenship revocations for individuals who circumvented legal investment thresholds. He got information. This was lodged with the court for 189 passport holders that were undersold, illegal. He wrote a few letters, and they stopped. When they committed to send letters to the 5,500 persons or applications that were approved, they never did. Totally false. When he spoke about citizenship revocations for individuals who circumvented the legal investment thresholds. Blacklisting rogue international marketing agents and investors. He blacklisted one. Terence Michael Jew blacklisted one international marketing agent. So why, we ask, the Chinese and Lescan are still operating? Why are they still operating? Strengthening due diligence procedures, mandatory interviews, he promised, residency requirements to establish a genuine link to the Federation, transform the CBI unit into a statutory body with stronger oversight. He did that. How strong is the oversight compared to what obtained? Regional cooperation among OECD states to prevent bad actors from exploiting loopholes. And my straight dog family, these reforms were necessary acts of national survival, but they were just cheap talk, because corruption does not merely steal money. Corruption steals opportunity from young people. Corruption steals health care from the sick. Corruption steals education from children. It steals development from communities, and ultimately, it steals hope from the nation. And that cancer originated years ago under the Douglas Labor administration, and its effects spread throughout the OECS region. The very architecture of abuse created a dangerous culture where political power, foreign money, and secrecy became intertwined, and yet some still behave as though the world is blind. Some continue to mock accountability. Some continue to believe they are untouchable. But history has shown that international enforcement agencies move patiently, strategically, and decisively. Many who once believed themselves immune eventually discovered otherwise. The world has changed. Global financial transparency has changed. And those who continue to gamble with the integrity of the Federation are not merely taking a chance. They are making a choice. A choice to risk sanctions. A choice to risk international isolation. A choice to risk the economic future of every citizen of this country. I spoke to my proud American Studios colleague, Dean Kane, who opined this, my Straight Talk family. And very interesting it was.
Dean, I can speak to you all day.
I could talk to you too, my friend.
But finally, the Western Hemisphere is our neighborhood.
It's your home.
We can't be backward looking. We have to be forward looking. And where do we go?
Well, I think we stop the corruption.
Okay.
We stop the corruption through financial means. And I think that someone like Secretary Bessent has his fingers all over this. I mean, the Caribbean is it's like paradise.
It is.
It's so gorgeous. I've spent a lot of time out there and adore the area. And the United States is very concerned with having this hemisphere safe and controlled. And I think once the corruption is dealt with, and I think that we'll be able to deal with that. Yes. And President Trump will speak very frankly to those who are corrupt and give them a chance and a choice. The way he gave Nicolas Maduro a chance and a choice. Mm-hmm. Maduro chose poorly, and that's why he's sitting in a jail in New York City. Okay. He could have made a deal. Delcy Rodriguez made a deal. Mm-hmm. She's in power now, and we're friends, and flights have resumed to Venezuela.
Yes.
The same thing I think is going to happen to some of the Caribbean nations. I think the same thing's going to happen in Cuba. And I think it's better for the citizens in Cuba and in Venezuela, in St. Kitts and Nevis, and everywhere, all through the Caribbean. I think it's going to be much better to have friendly relations with the United States, open relations with the United States, instead of having that outside influence, particularly with the Chinese.
And that's straightforward, my Straight Talk family. And that's palatable. But in conclusion, my fellow citizens, my Straight Talk family, I want to say that this moment is bigger than politics. This is about the soul of our nation. We must decide whether St. Kitts and Nevis will be known as a respected global leader with integrity, transparency, and accountability, or whether we will allow corruption to continue eroding the foundations of our democracy and international reputation. The cancer of corruption cannot be managed gently. It must be confronted boldly. It must be exposed completely. And it must be removed permanently. The future of this federation cannot belong to secrecy. The future of this federation cannot belong to kickbacks. The future of this federation cannot belong to manipulation and political protection. It must belong to the people. And so tonight, my Straight Talk family, the questions remain. Are those responsible merely taking a chance? Or are they consciously making a choice? Because history is watching. Washington is watching. The international community is watching. But most importantly, the people of this federation must start watching. When I see these so-called reforms announced by Terence Michael Joe, I smile. I smile, my Straight Talk family. I really smile. Because having been to Washington, I know differently. The discussion that I heard in D.C. confirms that the U.S. knows everything. A body created to control the CBI, but the Chinese, Iranians, and the Russians, the applications of all these people are still being processed in an OECS country that for now will be nameless. The process is contaminated. Will there be OFAC sanctions, my Straight Talk family? I ask again. The United States has already taken action, and some people have been apprehended at the border and questioned. An official right here in St. Kitts confirmed that. Confirmed that one person whose name I cannot call confirmed that he was apprehended at the border and questioned. But my Straight Talk family, as I said, Ramada, 2,500 shares at $200,000 per share. And I dear state, and I'm smiling, I'm still smiling, because when Lescan falls, the American hammer will fall on many whose names I cannot release. I asked the question, why didn't the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, act on the information he has? Garth Wilkin has information. Why didn't he act on such information? What are you afraid of, Attorney General Garth Wilkin? And Douglas pretends as though he hasn't heard the message from Washington. Imagine, Douglas pretends as if he didn't hear that message from Washington.
Our friendship with Taiwan is strong. Our friendship with Cuba, it is strong. Cuba has trained hundreds of our people. Our friendship with Venezuela is strong. And we will continue to strengthen that relationship that we have with our friends around the world. And that is why only a few weeks ago, I traveled to India, established a permanent presence there in India.
My Straight Talk family, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas, as I said, and I smiled when I listened to him, because he pretends as though he has not heard the message from Washington. Denzel Llewellyn Douglas is the one who spread the CBI cancer throughout the OECS. He started in Dominica. Remember when he got that diplomatic passport from his friend and comrade Roosevelt Skerritt? Remember, Douglas was removed from Parliament by a judge of the Eastern Caribbean High Court. Then DPP Valson Graham failed to take further action, and now Denzel Llewellyn Douglas is thumbing his nose at the United States. And I smile, because I wonder, is Douglas worried that the U.S. took out Maduro? I'm smiling as well, because Colombian Alex Saab was just deported by Venezuela to the United States, my Straight Talk family.
And now at 5, one of the closest allies of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro appears today in Miami in federal court. Alex Saab, who arrived at Opa-locka Airport this weekend after having been deported by Venezuela, now faces renewed criminal charges here in the United States.
CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is your reporter outside of federal court in downtown Miami with what his attorneys had to say. Yvonne.
And let me just start by saying this is not the first time that Maduro's ally faces criminal charges in a federal court. Jiman Loren, the Colombian-born businessman, this time is accused of conspiracy to launder money instruments, bribery of public officials, and misappropriation of funds. We asked his attorneys to elaborate more on this accusation, but they said very little.
No comment.
Attorney Neil and Joseph Schuster walked out of federal court barely answering any questions about their client, Alex Saab.
Is it one count only that he faces? It's unsealed.
They are defending 54-year-old Colombian businessman who became Venezuelan and was an ally of Nicolás Maduro. He arrived at Opa-locka Airport this weekend after being deported by interim president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez.
We expect to be representing Mr. Saab throughout this case.
Saab, described by U.S. officials as Maduro's bagman, may be asked to testify against his former protector, who is waiting trial on drug charges in Manhattan after being captured in Caracas in a U.S. military raid in January.
They were partners in crime.
Ernesto Ackerman is the president of the Independent Venezuelan American Citizens Organization in South Florida.
He will save his skin telling the United States everything he knows in order to reduce wherever jail time he needs to spend.
Saab previously spent time in U.S. custody before being pardoned in 2023 as part of a prisoner swap. He then returned to Venezuela. In this video, you see him once he was greeted by Nicolás Maduro, his wife Celia, and now interim President Delcy Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the one who demoted him from a government position, and over the weekend she handed him in to the United States. And Alex Saab will stay in custody in a federal prison until June 24th. He will be arraigned here at 10 a.m. Coming up at 6 p.m., more on his indictment. We're live in downtown Miami. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
My Straight Talk family, I'm smiling. I'm smiling because the Americans know everything. So why is Denzel Douglas so anti-American? Is he convinced that full details on the millions of US dollars deposited in the French bank in Dubai is known by the US authorities? Or is Denzel Douglas taking a chance or simply making a choice? My Straight Talk family, I am tired of asking questions. For years I have been asking questions. Government after government, and even the one in which I serve, have failed to give us the right answers, or the answers, period. But my Straight Talk family, hear this, and I'm smiling. I am smiling because my next interview in Washington, D.C. is coming up shortly, and I will interview a top, high-ranking U.S. official who knows everything about the CBI. And I will get the answers from that high-ranking official. You will see that interview, my Straight Talk family. I'm smiling as I repeat. My next interview in Washington, D.C. is coming up shortly. And I will interview a top, high-ranking U.S. official who knows everything about the CBI. And I will get the answers, I'm sure, from that high-ranking official. And I will play that interview. The Attorney General will not come to Washington, D.C. with me. I know. I don't know what he's afraid of, or he may not want to be with me. I welcome the Attorney General. Or I wonder if Farron Lawrence, my brother, will like to come with me. Will you come with me, Farron? Because I don't believe the AG will come. Farron knows about the CBI, Lescan, and the Chinese. So here's my open invitation. I close by saying, my Straight Talk family, a nation survives honest mistakes and mischances, but a nation cannot survive leaders who knowingly make the choice to betray its future. I'm going to repeat that. I want to close by saying, a nation survives honest mistakes and mischances, but it cannot survive leaders who knowingly make the choice to betray its future. I keep smiling, my Straight Talk family, because we still have a chance or choice to end the CBI cancer of corruption. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I'm going to open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And if you're so minded calling, the numbers are on your screens, my Straight Talk family. Those of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity, I said, and that address is also on your screens. But before I open the lines, and I'll do so momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, my Straight Talk family, in the things we say, trust and hope it will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 1 minute before the 9 o'clock hour, I go to the lines and say good night to our first caller. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Leiber.
Good night, my dear. And how art thou?
I am great.
Always good to hear you.
The flight against corruption.
Flight.
F-I-G-H-T, flight.
Oh, F-L or fight?
F-I-G-H-T, flight.
F-I-G-H-T?
Yes.
That's fight?
Yeah, fight.
Oh, you said
sorry. Sorry.
Okay, my dear.
Fight. The fight against corruption is the fight for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Corruption corrodes the fabric of society.
Fight for the future. Corruption corrodes the fabric.
The fabric of society.
Fabric of society.
And undermines trust.
And undermines trust.
Trust.
Yep.
I repeat, the fight against corruption is the fight for the future. Corruption corrodes the fabric of society and undermines trust. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. As usual, my Straight Talk family. And that's coming from our I call her the quotationist, who gives us a quotation, very important quotation each time around. And no different tonight. The fight against corruption is the fight for the future. Corruption corrodes the fabric of society and undermines. I missed that one. What's that? Undermines what? Oh, I'm sure she'll call me and get me that. I didn't write that one. What happened to me? I skipped that. If you're hearing me, quotation is the fight against corruption is the fight for the future. Corruption is or corrodes the fabric of society. I trust you're calling me back here. Are you there? Yes. Forgive me for that.
Undermines trust.
Trust, okay. Undermines trust. That's all? Okay, got you. I got you. I believe because they tried to give me that devil thing before, but anyway, thanks a lot for that. Undermines trust. How did I miss that? The fight against corruption is a fight for the future. Corruption corrodes the fabric of society and undermines trust. Yes, my Straight Talk family, it's 9 past the 9 o'clock hour. And we have a chance and we have a choice. Some people take chances because they want to risk our future and the future of our children. I recall Denzel Douglas, when he was a sitting prime minister, his visa was revoked. I am not certain if right now if he can go outside of a certain area in the U.S., outside of the UN area. But we'll get back to that. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk.
Hello, Mr. Straight Talk.
Mr. Straight Talk.
That sounds like abracadabra. How about
abracadabra? How are you, my brother?
I am peaceful, my brother from another mother. How about
yes, man, it's same here, brother from another mother. Yes, you will be leaving soon, but you just do what you gotta do, my brother. You're doing a wonderful job. I listened to you there on Thursday night and yesterday, and I tell you, I couldn't believe I was surprised to know that you meet Philip Martinez at the meeting. But you just do what you got to do. The country is waiting on you because you know what's going on. So you just have to do what you have to do. Like she says last week, Thursday quotation about the fight that you have to fight. So yeah, the truth, my father always tell me, boy, truth have fire to its tail. Because it's truth, and when you have the truth, nobody wants to hear the truth because they tell themselves you're going to cause problem. So that's when you have to keep fighting because you're doing your duty and you are letting us know what's going on. So just continue to fight and do what you have to do. That's all I have to say to you. What about the school? How it's coming?
The school isn't coming.
The Barbados Bastia High School.
Remember, it comes from all the way in Barbados. You know, some panels have to be shipped from Barbados. First of all, trucked to the port in Barbados, loaded on the ship.
Oh.
The ship sails to St. Kitts, and it discharges at the port, and the panels are trucked to the Bastille High School. What cost that will be, only Jew knows. But the high school, I call it the Barbados High School, we had nothing, no update on it, nothing going on, nothing at all.
But you're going to go up there again and give us an update of what's going on.
Really? Wow. I don't expect
because we depend on you now, because you see when you come and tap this thing, you bring the facts. So I'm not there, and I would like to really see and hear what's going on again because you started. So, you know, you might as well go all the way.
I will think about it, my brother. I will think about it.
Well, just like you, I'm thinking about coming home soon myself, so I'll let you know. By the time you come back from Washington and everything, I'll let you know what's going on. I ain't get a ticket as yet, but I'm out there looking for a nice ticket to get me come home. So by the time you come back from Washington, if I get it yes or not, I'll let you know what I have on my books to do what I have to do. Because I really want you to have a great time in St. Kitts this time.
I look forward to that.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
All right, my brother. I think I said enough for tonight. I want to greet my friends, but I'll do that the next time. Mr. Strater, just take care of yourself. We depending on you to do your job as a good man, sir. Keep the fight up. Just do what you have to do. God bless you. See you when I see you. See you soon. Abracadabra.
Yes, my brother. Take care of yourself and look forward to seeing you as well. But history is watching. I'm smiling because Washington, the U.S., is also watching. The international community is watching. But most importantly, the people of this federation are watching. My Straight Dog family, when I hear the former Prime Minister and Foreign Minister say this, I cringe.
Our friendship with Taiwan is strong. Our friendship with Cuba, it is strong. Cuba has trained hundreds of our people. Our friendship with Venezuela is strong. And we will continue to strengthen that relationship that we have with our friends around the world. And that is why only a few weeks ago, I traveled to India, established a permanent presence there in India.
My Straight Dog family, the Indian story is another one. But we will hear about it. My Straight Dog family. Good night, Patches reads this email. There's a major concern developing in the Taylors community regarding land that was originally designated as green space, now reportedly being cleared for housing projects for Spanish residents. Residents have stated that for years. They requested permission or opportunities to expand their homes and were repeatedly denied. Now, with elections approaching, there are growing questions and frustration about why these same green spaces are suddenly being used for housing development. Community members are calling for transparency, fairness, and proper consultation regarding decisions that directly affect residents and the future of the area. My Straight Dog family reads this email. This other email reads, Mr. Hypocrite Dwyer, I want to congratulate you for making a real fool of yourself in your last commentary. First, I must tell you many good persons were turned off because of your devious, personal, and grudging attack on Timothy. The good thing is, many people have labeled you as a born liar, and what you have said about Harris is meaningless and definitely impactful. Up to now, you cannot give an account and tell us whose pocket the La Valley Golf Course money ended up in. Talking about people, tell you that Patches say he was not accusing of any bubble, but want to know where is the money. You are so lie, not a soul tell what Patches said. You listened, heard Patches for yourself, knowing that you are an ardent listener to Straight Talk and Patches. You have it in for Timothy because you were denied on the new pay project, whereby you were projected to make over $25 million. How can you vex with Timothy alone when it was a cabinet decision? And my information emanating out of the cabinet was that Mark was vehemently opposed to you getting the contract, that he retorted, hell no. Furthermore, they said that your application for the contract was the poorest of all others and wasn't even worth considering. I must congratulate the DJ for exposing your lies, deception, and concluded with a blistering attack on your reputation. Harris is the only experienced leader we can be assured of to save this country out of the morass we are in now, and to hell with both. Reads this other email. Good evening, Ambassador Liebert. Congratulations on your first broadcast. It was thought-provoking. Contrary to belief, you weren't given information. You were just asking questions. Keep up the good work. One love. Read this email. Thank you very much for your commendation. A whole heap of bull is going on in St. Kitts. When the Douglas-led Labour Party was in power, VAT was on food. When Timothy was in power, he removed VAT from food. Now Labour is back under July. Not only is VAT back on food, but 2 other taxes. Life is way worse under this Labour government than ever before. Did you know that the persons who wanted to sell in the agricultural fair couldn't bring their own tent? They had to rent them from Labour for $200 per day, when you're not even making $200 in sales. Well, I skipped this year, and many other vendors did. Patches, not only that we couldn't sell brewery drinks, not top shelf drinks, but local. So see then 10 vendors all up there selling the same local drinks, and people saying Labour is good. Well, Patches, hell is not going to refuse them, just like the Pied Piper reads this other email. My Straight Talk family, that the other email as well, my Straight Talk family. Let me get this email, okay. It's 9:14, my Straight Talk family. And we go back to the lines and entertain this call at 9:14. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Patrick.
Yes, sir, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Patrick.
Yes, Mr. Bibleman. Good night. How about thou?
Well, I'm here, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, good to hear you.
Psalm 133. Psalm 130. Behold, how good
and pleasant,
and how pleasant it is. But it is for brethren
to dwell
in
unity. Yes.
That is Psalm 41. Blessed is the man that considereth the poor. In the time of trouble, he shall deliver him. Psalm 107. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good, for his mercy endured forever. He said, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, who he had redeemed from the hands of the enemy. Mr. Patrick, I am going to read Revelation chapter 6 and verse 7. This is the last passage which I am going to read for the night. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, he shall also reap. Yes, Pastor, nobody, and I say it again, nobody who plants potato boy and expect to reap yam. You cannot sow pigeon peas and get red peas. No. And a lot of people fail to understand. Mr. Patrick, have a pleasant night and see you. Bye-bye.
Have a pleasant night as well, Mr. Bibleman. And I always welcome what I call your biblical interventions, you know. If I did say that I mentioned French bank in Dubai, it was in fact an Indian bank. And I got this message of congratulations as it relates to the episode, our first episode of the Western Hemisphere. And I'm pleased to report that to even up to this afternoon, I don't know what the viewership is now at present, but up to this afternoon, I'm humbled to report that the episode was watched by over 300,000 viewers, my Straight Talk family. And that's a very good sign, and I'm humbled that the first episode of the Western Hemisphere was watched by some 300,000 viewers, and it's been going up and up. We go back to the lines at 9:19. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
That is good night.
Good night, my dear brother. How about thou?
Well, I'm here hanging in, just listening as usual, up informing the nation what's going on in different parts of the world, especially in our little federation, Nevis. And first, I also want to give God thanks for our blessed nation where we got federation, because this country, I believe that could do well, could do better under the right people then when we elect them. But it seems to me like everybody just looking to greed and everybody just looking for something. That is, I always say that this CBI program, the amount of money I hear that CBI program accumulate, right? That each and every man in this country could have been better off in life.
Sure.
When you listen to some of these money laundering out of our CBI program, when you listen to some of these investors coming in with fake documents and having money and want to go to our CBI program to develop the business here in St. Kitts before they bring in the money in the country to uplift our country, they're going to our bank and take our money. When you look now, some of these politicians who we elect, talking about petition looking handout because they was getting $500 to help them with their family, with the minimum wage. That money was boosting up the economy patches, helping the people, helping the economy, helping the business places. And, you know, I call him from Mark Bank, we didn't talk about it with the unity, go away, we think about it. He said that, well, water come before handout and all kind of thing because water development. I tell him plain water going always any government get in, that's the first priority about water because the country gonna always in need of water because going on house, going on every day. So that is something each government get in that's supposed to do. You understand? So I believe that ain't an excuse. Because the $500 and wherever the ordinary man was getting into their hands was boosting the economy.
True.
Patches, I'm glad for this information, you know. Because me hear a lot of young millionaires in this country now, a lot of young millionaires out of the CBI program. And we here suffering, don't can't get the land to buy. All kind of people coming in the country getting land, getting handout. And we parents who come work hard in the sugar industry, that is. Some of people still struggling to get land. And people just come in and getting land just like that because they want them to vote. But I tell you, any time a Labour government in office, I see slavery and I feel slavery. I see slavery, Patrice. Anytime a Labour government in office, that is a wonderful life, and God bless you. And continue to do what you got to do to help fight these evil people with the people of elect to run about face our country. Blessed.
Bless up, my brother. Thank you very much, Mr. Politics, keeping the fire burning. And my Straight Talk family, I listened to Denzel Douglas just today, and I heard this.
Our friendship with Taiwan is strong. Our friendship with Cuba, it is strong. Cuba has trained hundreds of our people. Our friendship with Venezuela is strong. And we will continue to strengthen that relationship that we have with our friends around the world. And that is why only a few weeks ago, I traveled to India, established a permanent presence there in India.
My Straight Talk family, I asked you the question, why is it not all right, I should ask, for the Cuban people to live in freedom as we do? Why shouldn't they live in freedom? But I'm smiling. I'm smiling when I listen to Denzel Douglas's anti-American rant. I'm smiling because I believe he is convinced that full details on the millions of US dollars deposited in the Indian bank in Dubai, I said French bank, it is in fact the Indian bank in Dubai, is known by the US authorities? Or is Denzel Douglas taking a chance or making a choice? My Straight Talk family, let me put it to you. When Denzel Douglas was the sitting prime minister, his US visa was revoked. So too his deputy prime minister, Sam Condor. Sam Condor only got what they call a transit visa. I have the diplomatic notes. I didn't get time. I'll put one of the notes up on your monitor so you can see it. We don't know if the visa given to Douglas as foreign minister allows him to go beyond the tri-state, because he has to be in New York, for example, to attend the United Nations. So he's anti-American. And we asked the question, again, he set up a permanent mission in India, a high commission in India. Are monies from the Indian bank in Dubai being transferred to India? That's another question. But I am tired, my Straight Talk family. I'm tired of asking questions and receiving no answers. For years, I've been asking government after government have failed to give me answers. But as I said, my Straight Talk family, my next interview in Washington, D.C. is coming up shortly. And I will interview a top, high-ranking U.S. official who knows everything about the CBI. And I'm going to ask him the straightforward questions. And I will get the answers, I'm certain, from that high-ranking official. Meantime, my first episode, or the first episode of the Western Hemisphere, which I host, has so far gone over 300,000 views. And that's a good start, and I'm humbled. But I said before, I do not believe that the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, will come to Washington. So I put it that he will not come to Washington, D.C. with me. Because he was invited before to come to Washington, and he never did. But he got the information. But in the meantime, I'm wondering if Farron, my brother, Farron Lawrence, will come with me. Farron, you know about the CBI very well. You know about Lescan and the Chinese. Here's my open invitation, Farron, to come to Washington with me. Sit in on the interview. You can sit in on the interview. So my Straight Talk family, for those who have just joined me, I introduce my thesis for tonight, which I have titled A Chance or Choice to End this CBI cancer, my Straight Talk family, of corruption. A chance or choice to end the CBI cancer of corruption. And I submitted in my introduction that there comes a moment in the life of every nation when silence becomes betrayal, when truth becomes a duty, and when leadership is measured not by speeches, but by the courage to confront corruption, no matter where it hides or who it protects. And tonight, we confront a hard truth. As our beloved Federation, once respected globally as the pioneer of citizenship by investment, the CBI, has seen its proud legacy stained by greed, abuse, deception, and political corruption. And this Terence Michael Jew administration is no exception, my Straight Talk family. I told you that in 1984, St. Kitts Nevis became the first nation to establish the CBI program. And it was envisioned as a tool for economic empowerment, national development, and opportunity, and to generate foreign direct investment. That has changed, my Straight Talk family. 9:31, go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, my brother. Good night, my brother.
It's wonderful how great you are, Mr. Ian Patches Library. This was the direction that you was destined for you to turn. Because just like you tired, I am tired of the hurt and continue to bear the hurt that St. Kitts and Nevis endured by these past kleptocrats and dirty politicians. I have no regards for none of them. No respect. Because they have deceived the people of the Federation. I know where the money was. The money was not spent. All these monies these guys laundered and stole from the CBI. They had it out there. But who will be the first one to put their hand in that cookie jar? They can't touch it. They can't do nothing. Bring that money home and let the people of St. Kitts enjoy the due diligence that was so longing for and still continue to wait for. It is out there. And all the investment that generated from these kleptocrats, their property should be seized and jailed. I have no regard for them again, and I quote. People had believed this thing was not true, but let it reveal at the right time. It is time. The people have spoken, I have spoken, and so it is said, so it shall be done. Lock them up and throw away the key. All who are involved, not just St. Kitts and Nevis, all those Caribbean leaders who are involved. They think darkness would not stay like that all the time. The light has come. Have that interview I'm waiting. Send me the link. I will leave it there because tonight is on fire. And other people need to make their commentary. Thank you for allowing me. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, my Straight Talk family. And yes, you'll get the link for that interview. And I'm humbled to report that the first episode of the Western Hemisphere, which was aired on Friday, has so far attracted 1,000 views. Let's go back to the line. Thank you for holding caller. You're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patches. Good night to you, Patches.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, good night to you and the listeners home and abroad. Straight to it, man. I'm talking directly to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. All of these politicians, they are corrupted and crooked. No exceptions. There was once upon a time a narrative that persons are coming home to vote and voting a government of their choice, contrary to what the people underground wants. But I am going to counteract that. The citizens underground keep putting in these kleptocrats, and they have no idea of how much manner of evil they have done to St. Kitts and Nevis. Most of what they have done to St. Kitts and Nevis is treasonous. And we know what the penalty is for treason. Patches, man, this stuff is unbelievable. The persons on the ground, they have no idea what's going on in their own country. Too much money is being moved out of the treasury. The money that collected in the CBI since its inception, St. Kitts and Nevis should be in tip-top shape, no doubt about it. Now we have to lose our lands and we have to lose access to the beaches over this dumb SHIT. Patches, no one is being held accountable from within our system. Our legal system is corrupted. You see that clip that you put up? Somebody got convicted and might come out on some type of good deed from the authorities, underground, man, how could they interfere in the justice system? The justice system they don't have no equal rights and justice. I know from personal experience that judicial system in St. Nevis is corrupted. And the lawyers, them on the ground, all of these people are so corrupted, it ain't funny. Man, when we look over at Nevis with that Destiny project, what's going on there, by the time the election comes up, Nevis Southside will be gone to foreigners. The amount of conflicts of interest and the amount of transactions happening behind the scenes. And I'm calling out the Prime Minister. He knows about what's going on over there. He tried to distance himself from that project on Nevis. But Patches, man, if you get over there and do that investigation, you won't believe what you will uncover. I've been reliably informed. There was some lands over there that was owned by a national bank. It was sold to that South Nevis Limited company you talk about. The Prime Minister and the Premier had gave that authorization for National Bank to sell those lands. Man, the place is super duper corrupted to a level that we can't even comprehend. And my thing is, man, our parents didn't raise us like this. Man, we know wrong from right, man. These players, they don't have no integrity. All of them. From the beginning, man, come straight up. I don't have to call names, man. All the politicians, them, in St. Nevis is corrupted. Corrupted to the core. And if they can't get held accountable from within, man, I hope Big Uncle Sam can come down there and clean house. We need a new set of politicians. We need a new paradigm. St. Nevis need new direction. And the electorates, them got to act as such because they're underground and doing it to themselves. I blame the electorates. They're doing it to themselves all of these years. Man, from the moment they started the CBI program in St. Nevis, it was corrupted from the beginning. There was no vision to let the working class get some of that money. And the politicians of the day, they all think that the money should go in their hands and not down to the working class. And when the next election comes up, they should replace both governments on both islands just to make that statement to these politicians, these crooks. It's time to replace these crooked, corrupted people. Man, I hope Uncle Sam can get down there and clean up because I don't have no hope in my own place where I was born. The only hope I got, man, is when Uncle Sam come down there with that big stick and clean up the whole Caribbean. You see they're about to indict Raul Castro? They're going to end up in St. Nevis as well. And I hope the Lord can let me live to see this, man, because the place is too corrupted. It needs to be cleaned out. Patches, man, have a good night, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your intervention. I can feel your passion, my brother. And yes, you made mention of this, and I don't know if I really want to believe this. I put it up because it came to my attention today. But as I said, and I'll say now that I cannot confirm the veracity of his content, especially that one to Message to the Right from Bucky Got It Media. He greets his followers. He told us he was convicted and remanded. But he told us he expect to be released. He said, hopefully, nonetheless. Thanks, he said, to the intervention of the Minister of National Security, who is the Prime Minister, and the representative from Constituency 4. Well, if this is true, help us. Help us. That would be beyond interference. But my Straight Dog family, that's for another time. We cannot confirm the accuracy of the content, neither its source. But getting back, my Straight Dog family, to the corruption. Today, the question facing St. Kitts and Nevis and other countries, in particular CIP countries that provide the citizenship by investment services. The question is simple. Will we finally end this cancer? It's a cancer called corruption. Or more importantly for us in St. Kitts and Nevis, will we allow these leaders in office to continue to gamble with the future of our federation? The evidence of systemic corruption within the CBI program is no longer speculation. That was proven and documented internationally, discussed openly in financial circles, and monitored closely by powerful governments and international agencies. My Straight Talk family. The US, Canada, the UK, Europe, or European Union. The illegal underselling of passports. By Straight Talk family. The lack of transparency. We don't know how many shares have been sold or allocated for the Bastia High School. We understand it's 3,000. But 3,000 at $250,000, that's $750 million. We heard the Prime Minister said that some 60 shares were allocated just for the feasibility study of the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw expansion study. And that's almost $30 million for a feasibility study. Come on. What kickbacks are people getting? But the world has been watching. And make no mistake, I said I'm going to Washington, God's spear, because Washington knows everything. During my last discussions in Washington, D.C., one message became abundantly clear. That is, the U.S. has deep concerns about the contamination of CBI programs across the OECS. The discussions confirm that despite reforms, applications connected to dangerous geopolitical interests, including actors linked to China, Russia, and Iran, are still reportedly being processed in parts of the region. This is not a game. This is national security. This is international banking credibility. This is the future survival of our economy. And when major global powers believe that the financial system is compromised, consequences would follow swiftly. OFAC sanctions are real. We've seen visa restrictions already. They are real. Banking the risking is also real. So too, border detentions and interrogations are already happening. We know of persons who have been detained at the border and interviewed. And I told you of the high-ranking official here in St. Kitts who confirmed a name that I cannot call. But I listened to that official, and I can tell that official that she was right on the names which I cannot reveal. She was perfectly right on the names which I cannot reveal. But the warning signs are everywhere. That is why the reforms that were apparently implemented matter profoundly. My Straight Talk family, why are some people not blacklisted? One international agent was blacklisted. One. So why the Chinese investor and the scan are still operating? Why aren't they blacklisted? My Straight Dog family. But as we are on the uphill side of 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, reforms are necessary. They are acts of national survival. But I must tell you, it's just cheap talk. Because corruption does not merely steal money. Corruption steals opportunity from young people. It steals health care from the sick. It steals education from children. It steals development from communities. And ultimately, it steals hope from the nation. My Straight Dog family. The cancer I speak about tonight originated right here in St. Kitts under the Douglas Labor Administration. The cancer was in fact Denzel Douglas. The very architecture of abuse created a dangerous culture where political power, foreign money, and secrecy became intertwined. And yet some still behave as though the world is blind. Some continue to mock accountability. Some continue to believe they are untouchable. But history has shown that international enforcement agencies move patiently. They move strategically and decisively. So many who once believed themselves immune eventually discovered otherwise. My Straight Dog family. And the United States are serious.
And now at 5, one of the closest allies of former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro appears today in Miami in federal court. Alex Saab, who arrived at Opalaca Airport this weekend after having been deported by Venezuela, now faces renewed criminal charges here in the United States.
CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is your reporter outside of federal court in downtown Miami with what his attorneys had to say. Yvonne.
And let me just start by saying this is not the first time that Maduro's ally faces criminal charges in a federal court. Jimon Lauren, the Colombian-born businessman, this time is accused of conspiracy to launder money instruments, bribery of public officials, and misappropriation of funds. We asked his attorneys to elaborate more on this accusation, but they said very little.
No comment.
Attorney Neil and Joseph Schuster walked out of federal court barely answering any questions about their client, Alex Saab.
Is it one count only that he faces? It's unsealed.
They are defending 54-year-old Colombian businessman who became Venezuelan and was an ally of Nicolás Maduro. He arrived at Opalaca Airport this weekend after being deported by interim president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez.
We expect to be representing Mr. Saab throughout this case.
Saab, described by U.S. officials as Maduro's bagman, may be asked to testify against his former protector, who is waiting trial on drug charges in Manhattan after being captured in Caracas in a U.S. military raid in January.
They were partners in crime.
Ernesto Ackerman is the president of the Independent Venezuelan American Citizens Organization in South Florida.
He will save his skin telling the United States everything he knows in order to reduce wherever jail time he needs to spend.
Saab previously spent time in U.S. custody before being pardoned in 2023 as part of a prisoner swap. He then returned to Venezuela. In this video, you see him once he was greeted by Nicolás Maduro, his wife Celia, and now interim President Delcy Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the one who demoted him from a government position, and over the weekend she handed him in to the United States. And Alex Saab will stay in custody in a federal prison until June 24th. He will be arraigned here at 10 a.m. Coming up at 6 p.m., more on his indictment. We're live in downtown Miami. Ivan Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Good night, caller. Thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Pleasant. Good evening. Pleasant. Good evening to you.
I'm peaceful yourself. Good evening. Sounds like, I can see those dimples. How about
I do for another night. Because I always say, in prison, from the time he gets that passport there, he have no call back in the House of Assembly. I always say he's supposed to be in prison. They did about Zengri, and he did that pay for it. He really had to pay for it. So he needs to start about Zengri and because he did not take it away. I think you have a pleasant, you hear me? At 4 days to get me before I shut down.
Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear, my dear.
Okay.
Okay, we do have some problems with that telephone. Excuse the quality of the call, but I'm happy that my good lady got in. Unexpected once said that somebody buying houses all over. Read this email. When it come like is some with labor representatives. That one up so are only buying houses, but he buying up all the land to build apartments to rent. But he's not the only one. I heard the other one oversaw, where the back and front ends meet. He has houses and supermarkets overseas. Patches, we need to get on our knees if we want to see St. Kitts Nevis succeed. Labor unstable like me. Wi-Fi. I wouldn't say from who. Read this email. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, Patches, me again. Patches, I want to tell my good friend Jones over in the United States, right? That's why I always tell the people, beware of what's going on. Stop, look, and listen. And stop playing the tribal politics with party. He ain't working for us no more. Patches, he ain't working for us no more. And Brother Jones, he ain't working for us no more. These party politics, these party, when you affiliate yourself to parties, we had a unity government where it was going very good. And just out of the blue sky like that, it just revamped away. And listen, we got to come together. Patches, if we don't come together, this thing will continue. I do not believe one individual government in India, just like how Dr. Douglas served under the Labour administration from 1995 to 2015. We see what will happen. We ain't blind, we ain't stupid. We see how will happen. People are wake up. It is time we all wake up. And if we don't consider what's going on and don't want to be aware of what's going on, Patches, people, we're going to lose our country. We're going to lose our country. These guys ain't have no use for us. And talk to Mr. McMahon, let the people, let them until we get the rest of the people to run this country. We can't afford to let our parents and work hard and then cut sugar cane and we come working in the sugar industry in the same way. We can't afford to lose our country like that. because somebody got a big briefcase come in and have maybe the liquid cash. They will come in and then because the color of the skin or the heel, they don't get our money. Look here, the corruption, this money laundering thing. People are wake up, Christian are wake up. It is time we done with this party affiliated thing and elect people to run our country, whether they're unity government, a coalition government, or whatever. Let me stop, look and listen. Take pride our country and our people. Patrick, again, you have a wonderful night. Good night, Jones. Good night. Welcome.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Politics. The persons who have PAM, where PAM is, are the big heads for PAM. The Simmons, Herbert, Morris, Morton, and whoever else big heads in PAM is them got PAM right there stagnant. Labor means nothing good for the country. We want back with Timothy reads this email. And that's it for our emails tonight as we wind down tonight's programming. Tonight, for those who may have joined me late, we looked at our thesis, which I titled A Chance or Choice to End the CBI Cancer of Corruption. We have a choice to risk sanctions because, as I mentioned earlier, the world has changed. Global financial transparency has changed. And those who continue to gamble with the integrity of the region, and by extension, our federation, and by extension, the region, are not merely taking a chance, they are making a choice. A choice to risk sanctions, a choice to risk international isolation, a choice, my people, to risk the economic future of every citizen of this country. And I mentioned earlier that I spoke to my Proud American Studios colleague, Dean Kane. And Dean was on the spot with his opinion, and I asked him this question.
Dean, I can speak to you all day.
I could talk to you too, my friend.
You know, but finally, the Western Hemisphere is our neighborhood.
It's your
We
home.
can't be backward looking. We have to be forward looking. And where do we go?
Well, I think we stop the corruption. We stop the corruption through financial means. And I think that someone like Secretary Bessent has his fingers all over this. I mean, the Caribbean is it's like paradise.
It is.
It's so gorgeous. I've spent a lot of time out there and adore the area. And the United States is very concerned with having this hemisphere safe and controlled. And I think once the corruption is dealt with, and I think that we'll be able to deal with that.
Yes.
And President Trump will speak very frankly to those who are corrupt and give them a chance and a choice. The way he gave Nicolas Maduro a chance and a choice. Mm-hmm. Maduro chose poorly, and that's why he's sitting in a jail in New York City.
Okay.
He could have made a deal. Delcy Rodriguez made a deal. Mm-hmm. She's in power now, and we're friends, and flights have resumed to Venezuela.
Yes.
The same thing I think is going to happen to some of the Caribbean nations. I think the same thing's going to happen in Cuba. And I think it's better for the citizens in Cuba and in Venezuela, in St. Kitts and Nevis, and everywhere, all through the Caribbean. I think it's going to be much better to have friendly relations with the United States, open relations with the United States, instead of having that outside influence, particularly with the Chinese.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. Not this.
I've told my colleagues we have to do what we have to do to get Kitty Shady Hill working. We have to do what we have to do to get Ramada Hotel open and functional.
Ramada Hotel, my straight dog family, had 2,500 shares. They made over $1 billion in the sales of those shares. But Ramada was not, or the investor was not interested in the hotel. They made money from our CBI. Just like that caller mentioned earlier. Destiny in Nevis, 10,000 shares. A few people are going to make money. And the Premier's household will stand to benefit millions of dollars from that project, God forbid, if it's approved. Premier Mark Brantley's household will make millions of dollars from that Destiny project. That's the plan. Here on St. Kitts, many made millions of dollars from the CBI. And my straight dog family, this moment in our history is bigger than politics. This moment in our history is about the soul of our nation and the nations of the region. We must decide whether St. Kitts and Nevis will be known as a respected global leader with integrity, transparency, and accountability, or whether we will allow corruption to continue eroding the foundations of our democracy and international reputation. The cancer of corruption cannot be managed gently. It must be confronted boldly. It must be exposed completely, and it must be removed permanently. The future of this federation, and by extension the region, cannot belong to secrecy, kickbacks, manipulation, and political protection. It must belong to the people. And so tonight, the question as I leave you remains: are those responsible merely taking a chance, or are they conscientiously or consciously making a choice? Because history is watching. Washington is watching. The international community is watching. But most importantly, the people of this federation are watching. When I see those reforms announced by Terence Michael Joe, I smile, because having been to Washington, D.C., I know differently. The discussion I heard in D.C. confirms that the U.S. knows everything. My straight dog family, a body created to control the CBI, but the Chinese, Iranians, and the Russians' applications are still being processed in an OECS country as I speak. That for now will be nameless. But the process is contaminated. The US has already taken action, as I said, and some people have been apprehended at the border and questioned. What do you want us to do? When Ramada, as I said, got 2,500 shares, or Galaxy I should say, at $200,000 US dollars per share. But when less can falls, the American hammer will fall on many whose names I cannot release. I asked the question, why didn't the Attorney General Wilkin act on the information that was given to him? What are you afraid of, Attorney General? Douglas pretends as though he has not heard the message from Washington and thumbs his nose at the U.S.
I've told my colleagues we have to do what we have to do to get Kitty Shady Hill working. We have to do what we have to do to get Ramada Hotel open and functional. Our friendship with Taiwan is strong. Our friendship with Cuba, it is strong. Cuba has trained hundreds of our people. Our friendship with Venezuela is strong. And we will continue to strengthen that relationship that we have with our friends around the world. And that is why only a few weeks ago, I traveled to India, established a permanent presence there in India.
My Straight Talk family, in conclusion, I repeat, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas is the one who spread the CBI cancer throughout the OECS. He began with Dominica. Remember, as I said, he got his diplomatic passport from his friend and comrade Roosevelt Skerritt. Douglas recalled was removed from Parliament for that very passport by a judge of the Eastern Caribbean High Court. The then DPP Valson Graham failed to take further action. And now, Denzel Llewellyn Douglas is thumbing his nose at the United States. Is he worried about what the U.S. would do? Is he worried that the U.S. took out Maduro? I'm smiling. I'm smiling because the Americans know everything. Is that why Douglas is so anti-American? Is he convinced that the details on the millions of US dollars deposited in the Indian bank in Dubai is known by the US authorities? Or is Denzel Douglas taking a chance or making a choice? My Straight Talk family, I'm tired. I'm tired of asking questions. For years, I've been asking. Government after government have failed to give the answers. But my Straight Talk family, I'm smiling. Really, I'm smiling. Because my next interview in Washington, D.C. comes up shortly. And I will interview a top, high-ranking U.S. official who knows everything about the CBI. And I'm sure I will get the answers from that high-ranking official. You will see that interview, my Straight Talk family. In the meanwhile, you can see the first episode at www.proudamericanstudios, that's one word, .com. It has already had over 300,000 views. And I'm humbled. The AG will not come to Washington, D.C. with me. I'm sure he won't. No, he won't travel with me. I wonder if Farron Lawrence would like to come with me. Would you come with me, Farron? You know about the CBI quite a lot. You know Lescan and you know the Chinese. Here's an open invitation. But let me conclude tonight, my Straight Talk family, with these words. A nation survives honest mistakes and mischances, but it cannot survive leaders who knowingly make the choice to betray its future. I keep smiling, my Straight Talk family, because we will, or we still have, a chance or choice to end the CBI cancer of corruption. And that's my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many viewers, listeners, those who send emails and those who called. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I must thank my quotationist as well, who rendered this quotation tonight, and I quote, "The fight against corruption is the fight for the future. Corruption corrodes the fabric of society and undermines trust." My Straight Talk family, until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food